Have you ever noticed a dark reddish or brownish discoloration around your pet's eyes here? If so, then that's a clear sign of tear staining. In this video, we will talk about the common causes of tear staining, various ways to treat it, and as well as ways to prevent it from happening to your pets. If you guys are interested in that, then please keep on watching. Hi everyone! Welcome back to the channel. It's a Poodle Mom again with the 2 toy poodles. Tear staining is very common to many light-colored dogs, most especially breeds like toy poodles, Bichon Frises, Maltese, Shih Tzus, and many other breeds. Tear stains are the result of excessive tear production in your dogs. If it cannot be drained naturally by your dog's eyelids around here, the excessive residue from that overflows to their fur here and causes the discoloration or the tear staining. Now, the rusty red or dark brownish color that you would notice for the tear stains are usually caused by iron-containing molecules, which are waste products of red blood cells in your pets. Number 1 would be ingrown hair or eyelashes. Now, this is very common with summer, which is why I'm going to be demonstrating later on how I prevent this from happening. Number 2 would be allergies. Now, it could be allergies to food or anything specifically. Maybe the changing of seasons or maybe an allergy to tap water that can cause tear staining as well. Now, for the changing of seasons, I think this is the one that causes summer's tear staining. So right now here in the Philippines, we're in transition from the summer season to the rainy season. And I noticed over the years that it's usually during the season where she starts producing excessive tear staining. It doesn't get bad when I'm around, but I noticed that it got worse when I flew several years ago to the States and I was gone for almost 2 months. Number 3 would be shallow eye sockets, which is why, if you would notice with Shih Tzus, they are very prone to tear staining because they have snub noses. So breeds like that have higher tendencies to have tear staining. And obviously, it's very much seen in light-colored Shih Tzus or dogs for that matter. Usually the white ones, hence the Malteses and the Bichon Frises. Number 4 would be the blocked tear draining holes. Let's keep it simple. So when your dog produces tears, it's usually drained around their eyelids and then it drains all the way to their nose. Now, there are times that could be blocked here, and that's where it overflows to the coats and it causes the tear staining around their eyes. So it could be a genetic problem or it's just blocked. It might be good to maybe check with your veterinarians for, medical reasons if there are causes like that. Another cause of tear staining could possibly be bacterial infection or maybe yeast infections. Now, the difference between regular tear staining and ones that are caused by bacteria or yeast is that it will have a foul odor, like something not normal. It would be good to check with your vets when it comes to that. Another cause could be a poor diet, or maybe there's a lack in their diet, or maybe there's an excess in specific meats in their diets. So red meats can usually cause excessive tear staining because of the high iron content. So if you guys are making your own dog meals, then you have to make sure that it's nutritionally balanced because an excess of certain nutrients or vitamins and minerals can cause tear staining or a lack thereof. And then the last one could possibly be stress. Tear staining can be caused or triggered by stress as well. So you guys have to look out for that. So this is how I maintain Summer's tear stain free face. So as you can see here, she has a lot of fur around her eyes, right? So that can cause a lot of tear staining. So what I usually do is I use either a shaver like this to clean out her eyes and as well as grooming scissors. Now, if you don't have these curved grooming scissors, it's fine. You can just use regular scissors. Always with caution, please. Kids, do not do this at home if you are not supervised by adults. I usually start with the grooming scissors and I trim around her eyes. Usually the ones that can go over her eyes because her fur usually goes through that. So as you can see, her eyelashes here, right? They bend upwards or downwards. With that one, I would usually just use the grooming scissors carefully. Anything in excess that can go to her eyes. I also trim around here. And as you can see, she's been trained to tolerate this, which is why I do not recommend this if you have untrained dogs. And then I also clean up this whole area down here using my wireless So as you can see, I was able to clean it up. So another method I can recommend is to use wipes. So you just grab one. I do this on a daily basis when she has terrible tear staining. It can be any kind of wipe that you want. This just makes it easier for me. You can use other stuff, but basically I just wipe it clean just to make sure that nothing builds up around her eyes. So another maintenance that I do to prevent tear staining would be using my contact lens solutions. And this one has antibacterial properties and it's safe for the eyes. I've checked with my vet, you can use it too. So you can use any brand for that matter. It's just that I don't want to have too many of different things, so I just use the one that I use for myself. I use flat cotton, the ones that I use for like cleaning my face. So I just put a little bit on it, and then I use this to wipe her eyes. So another method that I use is using tearless shampoos. Now I actually have two kinds. Since my dogs don't have tear stains as much, I loaned the other one that I use. It's called the Blueberry Anti-Tear Staining Shampoo. You use it like any regular shampoo. These can go into your dog's eyes. They're safe. Of course, as much as you can, just still avoid it, even if they say it's safe. If you can, but if not, it's very safe. I've tried it on myself just to make sure it's really pain-free for the dog's eyes. So this one I use for regular maintenance on a weekly basis to wash their eyes and tear staining area. And of course, if the tear staining is there, then I use it every day to wash their face and their eyes, even around the mouth area, because the tear staining can also stain around that area. Let's start with the peroxide. Now, I learned this from my trainer. I didn't like make this up or anything. He told me to use this with cornstarch. So basically, I dilute this 1:6. So this is the dilution here. And I basically use a cotton ball and I wipe it around the tear staining area. So I soak it with this and then I use the cornstarch to drizzle it on top of where I put the peroxide. So the cornstarch will suck up the excessive peroxide or liquid that has been there. And you just leave it there. It's up to you if you want to clean it up. But for me, I leave it there until the next day. And then I clean it up when I do the process again. Ooh, this is going to be the most controversial part of this video. But let's go. I know I can receive a lot of hate for this, but it's okay. I just ask that everyone who will watch this video, if you want to proceed, then do it with caution and please keep an open mind. The reason why I'm sharing these is because I want to break that stereotype of people being hated on just because they use medication for their pets. I agree that too much medicine, too much chemicals in our pets is really, really, really bad. But there are times that all natural is not enough. And we have to face that fact and that reality. And during those times that all natural no longer works, you need other methods that will be the lesser evil for your own pets. Yes, I also use medication and I don't see anything wrong with that. The only time I ever used the medication was the first time that I experienced tear staining. And that was when Summer was, I think, a year and a half. That's when she started having those tear stains. And of course, as a newbie parent, and there weren't videos like these in YouTube back then, I didn't know what to do. And And all I could follow were the ones that I would see in websites online saying that there's that brand, Angel Eyes, and they really worked. It worked like magic. It was so expensive, but it worked and it solved my problem. It was only recently that I have learned about all these all-natural methods, which I prefer using because they really work if you do them on a regular basis, and there's nothing serious about the tear staining of your pups. But there was one time that I was forced to use another medication, and that time I couldn't get my hands on Angel Eyes or all the others that I have used in the past when I flew to the States for 2 months. And of course, they were grooming my dogs, but they couldn't maintain them the way I usually maintain them. So when I got back, Summer had these terrible tear stains all over her face. And it wasn't just around here, it was around her snout, it was around her face. Her whole face was red. And I was so frustrated. And I couldn't use this method because I couldn't really go around her whole face because that could harm her, because that all the fumes would be all over her body and not just here. And I couldn't exactly just put cornstarch all over her face like that. It wouldn't stick there. And it could cause, I don't know, problems with her nose and stuff. So I was forced to use medication. And the medication that I used back then was this one. I'm not sure if it's available in other countries, but this was the one that worked for me. It's called eye vitamin drops. So my style of medication when it comes to these things, and I'm not saying it's right. I know I am wrong for not following the proper medication of this one, but it's my personal choice. So I use this, even if it says, let's say you have to use it for 2 weeks or finish the whole bottle. When I see improvement, I stop. And I've already checked. I have a friend who is a vet who also recommended the same thing, because the chemicals here are not good for your pets long term. I just use it as a last resort to help speed up the cleaning and see the progress, and then I will go back to the all-natural method. Now, there are other brands that I'm sure is available in your own home countries, and I will not judge you for using them. It's your own decision if you're gonna follow the medication recommended in each of the bottles. I will not say what it is for this one. If you're gonna get it, then please follow the medication, and it's up to you if you wanna follow through with it, or maybe better yet, you can ask your vets. It's my personal choice why I did that, and I'm just saying that that method worked. I'm not saying it's the right medical method. I'm just saying it works for me, and I prefer to do it that way to lessen the chemicals on my dogs. And the reason why you have to follow the medication is if you use them on a regular basis. If you don't use them properly, it can cause your dogs to build immunity to the product, and it will not work the next few times. So those are the possible consequences that you will face if you do it my way. But like I said, it has never returned because I do my proper cleaning up on my dogs. So actually, the tear stainings can be prevented not with medication, not with any of these chemicals, but by just you cleaning up after your dogs. Proper grooming of your dogs will help prevent all these problems in the first place. And if you're interested in other grooming videos, most especially ones about tear stains, I will link them up here as well as in the description box below if you want more information about them. And we hope to see you there.